path to sanctions relief for PDVSA is through the expeditious transfer of control. Today, Treasury took action against Venezuela's state-owned oil company, PDVSA, to help prevent the further diversion of Venezuela's assets by former President Maduro. The United States is holding accountable those responsible for Venezuela's tragic decline. We will continue to use all of our diplomatic and economic tools to support interim President Guaido, the National Assembly, and the Venezuelan people's efforts to restore their democracy. We have also issued general licenses to ensure that certain European and Caribbean countries can make an orderly transition. The path to sanctions relief for PDVSA is through the expeditious transfer of control to the interim president or a subsequent democratically elected government who is committed to taking concrete and meaningful actions to combat corruption.
Assembly, the opposition, and most importantly, American personnel are not harmed. This is an unequivocal.
There's plenty of supply at sea that's already been paid for, so there's inventories. There's been excess oil. I'm sure many of our friends in the Middle East will be happy to make up the supply as we push down Venezuela's supply. People have been working around the clock, and we couldn't have gotten this done without the enormous support of.
Since then, 21 other governments in the region and across the world. I call on all responsible nations to recognize interim President Guaido immediately. Maduro has made clear he will not recognize Guaido or call for new elections. Now is the time to stand for democracy and prosperity in Venezuela. I reiterate that the United States will hold Venezuelan security forces responsible for the safety of all U.S. diplomatic personnel, the National Assembly, and President Guaido. Any violence against these groups would signify a grave assault on the rule of law and will be met with a significant response.
Ambassador Bolton, if I could, you mentioned the word significant response. How do you define significant response?
Well, we're not going to define it because we want the Venezuelan security forces to know how strongly we think that President Guaido, the National Assembly, the opposition, and most importantly, American personnel are not harmed. This is an unequivocal statement on our part.
Is there any circumstance under which American forces would get involved?
Look, the President has made it very clear on this matter that all options are on the table.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We expect when we get a deal that deal will be enforced. And I would say in the conversations we had.
Well, our assessment based on numerous contacts on the ground is that the rank and file of the Venezuelan military is acutely aware of the desperate economic conditions in the country. And we think they look for ways to support the National Assembly government. We think the junior officer ranks and the mid-level officer ranks are the same. And we are also aware of significant contacts between general officers of the Venezuelan military and supporters of the National Assembly and President Guaido. Any violence against these groups would signify a grave assault on the rule of law. Well, we think stability and democracy in Venezuela are in the direct national interest of the United States. Right now, under the Chavez-Maduro government, civil society in Venezuela is disintegrating. The economy is in a state of collapse. Something in the range of 3 to 4 million refugees have already fled the country for neighboring countries in the United States. And the authoritarian regime of Chavez and Maduro has allowed penetration by adversaries of the United States, not least of which is Cuba. Some call the country now Cubazuela, reflecting the grip that Cuba's military and security forces have on the Maduro regime. We think that's a strategic, significant threat to the United States, and there are others as well, including Iran's interest in Venezuelans' uranium deposits.
Yeah, and let me just comment. This is a country, there will be as part of this limitations on selling oil products.